work in Kisii, and I know you are aware why I wanted you here, that many things have been unfolding here in Kisii in the recent past. Basically, we are in a time of fights and wars in government. Kisii County is in the time of wars in government. Over the last 1.5 years now since we formed the government, myself as deputy to the governor Simba Arati, we have lived in a time that doesn't seem to make the county grow. The events of the last few days, the story of the impeachment of the deputy governor of Kisii, who is myself. Of course, those who do not know me, I'm the Honorable Dr. Robert Monda. Impeachment of the deputy governor is simply a coming to hide the really happenings of this county. It is appearing like the time the honorable members of parliament from the Kisii region or county, some came to visit me here on a Saturday afternoon. That was perceived to be a thing that a deputy governor should not do. And it was received by my governor in very negative light. So I should not have visitors, I should not have friends because I'm a deputy governor. Onyonga is an ODM with me and the honorable governor. Manduku also was here, is in ODM together with me. Donya is in the Azimio. We had friends from the UDA, the chief whip, the Honorable Soro, and the Honorable Chafet Nakundi from Kitutu Church North, and some handful of MCAs. I live a life, I'm a social being who must be visited in politics or out of politics. Our partnership with the Governor Simba does not have an arrangement where I'll exclude my relatives, my friends, and everyone else out of my life because I'm deputy governor. That became a bad thing. Next, I was invited to a fundraising in Ramasha a few days ago. I went to Ramasha SDA Church, invited by the Honorable Boss Mairura and the area MP, Honorable Daniel Manduku. When we go to that function, it is seen. You can't go to fundraise with people perceived to be enemies to the governor. And the biggest enemy in that function was the CS, Honorable Machob. This is another sin. I went to another function the next day to fundraise for the Catholic Church at Riatrima, where the host was Honorable Machob with the CS himself. While we were there, we gave our contribution. My governor, the Honorable Simba Arati, sent his contribution of 100,000. So all of us, including the governor, were in that fundraising. Representatives When you send anyone, you participated in that fundraising. But that became sin. And it is what is being implied to be a reason for impeachment. The next day, Sunday, already people were generating an impeachment motion in Nairobi, where the governor was. They came down to Kisii the next day, Monday. Already MCS, without being explained what the motion was all about, some MCS were already on the signing of the list of people supporting the motion. The next day was a notice of motion to the County Assembly of Kisii. Now, yesterday, you know what it was. There was a mover on the floor who moved the impeachment motion of the Deputy Governor of Kisii. I've seen the grounds now. I remained quiet from the time the notice of motion was given until yesterday, when the real accusations were put across on the floor of the House. I now have an idea. As we speak now, the Speaker and the Clerk of the Kisii County Assembly have not been able to serve me with the papers associated with the impeachment. That is a requirement by law. It's not a favor, nor is it that I should go begging for those documents. I should be served. It's law. I am supposed to prepare myself for a response to the accusations. I'm sure you have heard, you are from the media houses, you have heard the kind of debate that has ensued since the tabling yesterday. You have seen the accusations. I want simply to say to you, as the Fourth Estate, I'm ready and equal to the issues that are raised. I will respond and have them behind me, all of them. There's nowhere in the country where you'll be debating a matter between a brother and a brother in the assembly. If there was anything sensible for the assembly to discuss, I'm saying, if I arrest my brother for going into my tree chamber, cut them, split them into timber to sell, I find it is wrong if I carried a panga to cut him. That's unlawful. Arresting him by the police is what is law, so that the law takes its course. Is either freed that he's innocent, or is convicted for the wrongdoing. What is the business of the House of the Kisii County Assembly in such a matter? If anybody was to discuss it, possibly be behind the chiefs, behind the police, it would be the chief and the village elder. Does it require a house for legislation coming to discuss this kind of thing? Who invited them? Who is the petitioner? If there was a petition, I'll wait to see if that petition will be part of the documents that will be handed over to me when the assembly gives me the papers. In all the matters they have raised, there are three. I want to see the petitioners. Who are they and what is the petition? 3, I will tell the House again and tell even the country that if my brother again goes back to those trees and cut more, I will arrest him again and again. It's not the business of the House to manage my life in my home. Their business to do legislation And if they are doing oversight, let them do oversight according to the procedures laid down by this country, the laws of this country. I don't get scared of anything. I've never been labeled with attack. I've never had attack of corruption in my life. It is only this time that is coming into my history. Corruption. I have sufficient answers, and it is the responsibility of the holders of this motion to ensure they have a case to prosecute. I'll only tell you as the Fourth Estate and the Kenyans, the Kisii people at large. I don't have an accusation there that will stand the test of time. This motion has been brought simply to cover the many, many challenges that we have in this county. And I call you here to let you know there are such issues that we have handled over the last 1.5 years. As Deputy Governor, I will raise any issues I see with my boss, the governor. I don't have to speak these kind of issues in public because I do not want to take part in undermining the government which I'm associated with. Now, here they are. You have been here as media houses. We have had issues of excessive drivers than we need. First issue. And we ran with that in our first days in government. Does anyone know how that story ended about excessive drivers? Was the pledge to assign the excessive drivers into other new dockets? We left that story hanging. It was a story talked over, but left hanging. Nobody else was assigned to prosecute the same to its logical conclusion, to have value for the money that we pay the drivers whom are considered to be excess in the Kisii County government. We came to the issue of ghost workers. It was a talk of long time in recent days, where my governor, and I want to believe it is in good faith, that he persistently talked about the ghost workers in Kisii County government. Initially, governor came up with 1,300 or about there. Finally, there was creation of some kind of investigation. An institution was hired to come and conduct head count for the public servants, so that we are able to discover who are the ghost workers, and if they exist, where are they? And if so, we save the county from wasteful spending of resources that we pay ghost workers, and therefore put the resources into good use. We followed this matter. The governor remained having information from the investigators until a time when finally there was a list of 740 people whom the governor had earmarked for removal from the payroll. If you removed a person, any employee from the payroll, what does that mean? That person has been sacked. Removal from the payroll means sacking. And so that list came. It was given to the county secretary with instructions to have the director of human resource in the county drop those 740. I attempted to talk to the governor. This is not enough investigation to remove employees from the payroll before we call them to give their report on where they have been if they have not been on duty. When there was noise all over after the list was released to the public through social media, the governor again instructed not to have that 740 list of 740 removed, not one name. Of course, we had spent money to pay for the team that investigated who were the genuine employees, who were not. Now we had the talk of all the time, ghost workers. A list has come. We realize it is a hot matter before the public out there. Then we retract the action, and then the instructions I had was, can we now write show cause letters to those 740? Those were the last instructions I had about the ghost workers. Before that took place, everything went quiet. The ghost worker story was left hanging. So I've told you, excess drivers left hanging. Ghost workers, the story is left hanging. Nobody's talking about it. We are still paying all the people. The question is, does Kisii County government have ghost workers or not? And if they existed, who takes responsibility for the 1.5 years they are in the payroll without us taking action? If they existed, we needed to drop them. If they didn't, we come out clear, tell the public that we have done scrutiny and we do not get anyone labeled as a ghost worker. It is our responsibility as leaders to make the public clear about any statement we commit ourselves to. 3, we picked an issue with pending bills, and we said all of the pending bills of 1.2, 1.3 billion was hot air. Then we embarked on a team to audit the pending bills. Who did their job, concluded, gave us the genuine pending bills to be paid and the eligible pending bills to be paid, ineligible bills for further investigation, and the others to be dropped from any kind of payment or any kind of negotiation. Now, the committee we created to investigate gave us a report at the point of paying and not paying. We had set aside 231 million to pay the eligible pending bills. And that may be around May last year. And so we allocated money to this business, 231 million. Yet to date, we have been able to spend or pay to a tune of 112 million. We have a balance of 119 million to pay, yet we have no reason why we have not paid the same to the contractors who deserved their pay. What do we call that kind of management? We have paid some, we have not paid some. Those who have not been paid are still suffering out there, some with bank loans, but we are holding the money to a tune of 119 million. Nothing is being said, but in our budget we did, and the payment business was to be instructed by the governor. Nobody has taken responsibility to explain the non-payment of money approved and budgeted for that was to be paid to the contractors who are pending bills. A story came up about the ineligible pending bills, where I remember my governor instructing that we shall have a desk, and you may have been there, out there at the stadium. A desk to pick what the issues are with ineligible pending bills. And we directed the public to do the same. Now, from the time it was done, it must be 5 or 6 months without us telling the public what became of the ineligible pending bills, where the complaints had been captured by the contractors, from the contractors, yet we are in responsibility. We are responsible to tell the public what became of the people who came still petitioning the county government that their bills were still viable for payment. That's a third matter. Another matter that has been left in abeyance. Who will come to sort out this kind of situation? A third matter. Now, the handling of personnel in the county has been arbitrary. Very, very arbitrary. We are simply transferring staff. In my view, as a bureaucrat in government, I've been there. I've been a civil servant. You cannot be transferring people today, tomorrow, the day after. You go to station A, you go to B, you go to Z, you are still moving. And there is nothing good that forms the reasons for your being moved. How does that movement add value to the performance of service provision? How does it improve service provision? It's not about whom I like, whom I hate, whom I don't like, whose son are you, whose daughter are you, so that you must be, the intentions are move them as much as possible. Let the transfers be as punitive as they may be, so that people know we are in power. Power is supposed to be exercised for the good of the people you administer. Fourth, our year one in government, we had an allocation in the budget where governments are supposed to be rated on resource absorption. It's a factor considered in government. How are you performing? Resource absorption is a factor. And in Kisii County, we only managed, in the first financial year, we only managed to absorb resources to a tune where we were number 47 out of 47 counties, meaning we did poorly. We did not absorb our resources. We left it out. Over 2 billion created for or allocated to Kisii County for spending in that financial year. We didn't do that. And we still claim we are doing very well. Kisii County is also on track, running to achieve development equally as other counties are doing. But we did not absorb our resources. So where do we expect to get the development that we have promised our people if we don't spend our resources? That's year one. Year two, the first quarter of this financial year, from July coming to September. The report we have from the controller of budget says we have a total now, a total of 5.9 billion shillings. That is the unspent money from the previous financial year, together with this financial year, a total of 5.9 billion for development. That's an allocation for development only. First quarter performance, we only absorbed 1.7% of the resources allocated. Out of that money, I've told you 5.9 billion. The county government of Kisii has spent 79 million in 7 going to 8 months now, meaning the year is coming to an end. Year 2 of the Simbarati Monda government of Kisii County. We are left with 4 months to the end of the financial year, with a challenge of spending 5.9 billion. We have spent our 8 months in the same financial year, spending only 79 million. Percentage-wise, 1.7%, meaning we have 88.3, am I right? 0.3% of our budget for development unspent. If we took all our 8 months spending 78 million, or 1.7%. What miracle are we going to do in the next 4 months that we shall make the Kisii County people have their development resources put into development? They feel the effect of government near them, devolved system of government. We have the money. What is the problem? We are unable to apply the resources. Who is holding the government? We have the chief executive of the county. Governor Ratti will have to explain. Governor Ratti will only expect me to explain this if delegated to me. If he has not delegated that role and assignment as the principal deputy, the principal assistant, I am not expected to take roles minus the governor giving them as assignments to me. So, I move on. How do we do our business? And this, I won't mind, let everybody hear. And those who are capable of sending it to, if there are some who will send it to government, let them go there. The thing is, we are slowed down because if there is any procurement done by the county government, the officers who are charged with the duties of procurement in the county government will do a little paperwork. The rest of the approvals the files are taken to the governor's residence in Motonto to have the rest of the approvals done by the governor and the first lady. This has no doubt. Anybody wanting to doubt this, go and look at who is approving procurement for the county. Is it stipulated in the law? No. Is it that you do paperwork like a clerk and then pick the papers, take them to the chief executive to say yes, so and so, move on, or no, so and so, we cannot, or let's re-advertise this because the best bidder in this tender is so and so, yet we wanted so and so. Is that what we should do in government? I will insist saying no. And I'm giving you these reasons. Why are we slowly developing cold blood, resulting into impeachment moves? When you ask, is this the way we are working? I've gone quietly to my boss, the governor, and I'm asking, Governor, this is not right. Governor, this is not right. Can you move official business from your residence so that we do not have a situation where we come and we are hosted by the First Lady as the protocol officer in charge? And two, we are also under the directions of the First Lady to tell us what to do. Most of the time chairing official meetings, at most times clashing with the officers, or most of the time. And this clashing has spread out there from the residents, from the senior officers to the directors and to everybody else. Is this the way work is done? No. We only work in gazetted government premises. So if I told you come here, oh, see me in this house or see me in the other one, it's an official. And I'm saying this with all the confidence that I understand the practice in the government. So if I pointed out this is irregular, then it becomes a ground for impeachment. Why is the deputy governor questioning the authority? But authorities have also a law to regulate the way authorities work. It's not working in darkness. And so, the government officers have been under a lot of intimidation, a lot of harassment. And I've talked about this before with the governor. This is the first time I'm saying this because of what has been going on. I'm not quiet because I have nothing to say. I'm saying this so that the people out there will know I've spoken. And I'll tell what it is. So with these processes, you slow down government operations. The officers have nothing to do since the files for procurement are with the boss. So we wait until Mercy releases the files from the boss' hands. The same thing happens with the payments of whatever contractors. And the process is the same. Payments have to be regulated by the same boss. And so when they say, oh, hold this file, nobody will question, hold that one. Including personal claims. And I will be very clear here. I was in Eldoret many months ago for devolution conference. Payment for my accommodation as a person and my support staff, the security and the drivers, has not been paid to date. While if you checked, and anyone wanting to check, please go check. Governor's team was paid immediately. I do not want to go further than that. There are claims or processes where some payments have been under question and they need to be rectified. I'm saying all this, that we have had officers who have left service, including the county secretary we hired with the governor Simbarati. He had to quit out of harassment, he had to quit out of intimidation, he had to quit to save my name in the media again, where people were castigating me. Oh, if you want to go and join Osoro, you go. Join Osoro quickly. You leave Simba to work. I told those of you who were in the stadium some time ago, I'm not about to go anywhere. And those who are gearing to become deputy governors, I'm not going anywhere. And the governor was sitting there. And you see, I cannot absorb a situation of intimidation. a situation where you are told you will be impeached. So if you want to be safe, please shut your mouth, keep quiet, so that you survive. I survive what? We created this government together for the one purpose of delivering our campaign pledges to the people of Kisii County. We did not discuss any other thing. So now we are here. We are parting ways in the way we think service delivery should be done. Finally, from instructions by the governor and the first lady in their residence in Motonto, they have consistently and persistently instructed the CCMs, the CEOs, the directors not to make appearance in the deputy governor's office. If they did, they risked being fired. And the question from the boss is, if we fired you, will the deputy governor be able to salvage you? Would he save you? When you hear this kind of sentiments, you ask yourself, for whom am I working? And for what intentions? Are we serving the people, or we are here in a contest? Is it a contest of who is more powerful than the other? I know I'm deputy governor. I'm number 2 in the queue. But if you instructed every officer not to step in the deputy governor's office, so the deputy governor will be in the office doing what? Serving who? So all the programs I'd set for myself, I had to stall, I had to stop. Severally, repeatedly, I've asked the governor, in your own decision, can I know, from the time we came into office, can I have a portion of the work I should be waking up to do, so that what is not assigned to me, I will not be responsible unless delegated by yourself to me. Get me the amount of work that you feel you are comfortable with for me to do as deputy governor. And the governor has continuously said, oh, Dichi, we shall discuss that. Oh, we shall, I think, have some time to engage on the same. Month 1, month 2, month 5, month 10. There is no work portion that is assigned to me from the time we started the government. So I go to the office to pump into anything that comes my way. When I invite the officers, they come to me, they are told, if we removed you, will the deputy governor save you? So why did you find yourself in the deputy governor's office? They even the time, who stayed for how long in that office? I'm not begging to be in this government. I'm there in my own right as a deputy governor, qualified and allocated that position by the laws of Kenya. It is not by intimidation to me or by anything else that will make me do the work. It is the law of Kenya. So you have understood what is causing the impeachment motion debate that is in Kisii County. I will want to ask the governor, how did the impeachment come about? I'm under his supervision. What is it that the MCAs found that they think I'm incompetent, myself to be incompetent? A person who has led in this country as civil servant, a person who has been a member of parliament, I've chaired the health committee of parliament, I've been the chair of parastatus under the previous regime of government twice, and you believe I'll come to the county and become incompetent? I'll come to these offices and become abusive to the office I'm holding? Let's be serious with what we tell the people. Let's not go to the people and they cry. The current scenario is take Monda's name to public participation so that we drag his name through mud. And everybody will hear Monda is so bad because it will be a campaign time to campaign against Monda. So that when it comes to the house, everybody will be carried along. Monda has wronged the government and the laws of the country. That it is a matter of time and the truth will come out. I will stand to make this statement again and again. Even if I'm removed, I'll continue talking about Kisii. I'm one of the Kisii people. Nothing will stop me. I'm a leader in my own right. I did not come here as deputy governor, as a beggar. To make certain decisions. And my business as the deputy is to advise my boss. When you advise, you don't come to the media. You advise him quietly. If I were to write letters to the boss, it will spoil the climate for working. So I'll only talk to him and tell him I feel this is not the right way. That I've said. So that I have given him sufficient time for him either to also see what I'm saying or discard it in total.